Boys and girls. Just a quick layout update. To start at the beginning, the floor here was paving, so over 34 meters. The total drop was 7 mil. So kudos to the guy that did the paving. It worked out perfectly. Don't look at the bench work because I just put the boards on, so everything needs to be screwed down still. But there we have it. And I was an idiot because the two doors here, the garage door, I was actually I should have put the other garage door there in that space, but all right. It is done now. And the gap we got here is 820, which is a door. All right, so access here won't be too difficult. Another thing was, I saw on the other side that the hatch, I don't like a hatch. It's just a bad thing, a hatch. So I decided to drop the one here and not make it. Look, if you want to get inside there, you can walk up here, walk, and just go through the hatch there. End of story. That way I've only got the one hatch, which is good. I want to show you something on the tracks here, but more about that later. I can't cut now because it's after 10 at night and the oaks will complain. But that whole installation over there, that is going to be cut down. I've cut 2 pieces already. I'm going to drop that tomorrow down to 750. That's going to be where the narrow gauge turn. The other problem is, now that I see the layout, all my plans that I originally had is going out the window because I can see it now, and I've got a lot of other ideas ringing my head. I'm not too sure where I'm going to go with it, but we'll see. Okay, then Ron Mitchell, I spoke to him in the week in the UK. Some guy there's going to build a Gauge 1 layout. Now for the Gauge 1 UK oaks, I know that the NMRA suggests 160 mil center to center on the tracks. That means here, from there, kyk hoe vuil is my handjies, from there middle to there, 160. However, if you put 2 LGB radius 5 bends together, it automatically goes to 200 center to center. And that was what I based this on. However, check how nice my first intersection is here, eh? Hey. But okay, with it at 200, the piece that I need to add in here would have been a third longer than it is now, which means that the 6 points lying here is going to end up there, other side there by the drill. You know, it was very long. Now, I decided to do it 180 center to center. And actually the throw on the Lachas Creek turnout dictated that to me, because then it sits right in the middle. Can't interfere with everything, or with anything. Not that I'm going to use them, but yeah, it just looks neat. Which then makes my outside radius 3,600. And then the inside radius is then 3,420, which is nice and, you know, not too bad. You know, it won't look funny. The biggest problem is why I went for 180, and I want to tell Ron this as well. These wagons are over 800 long. And yeah, you can see here, there's not a hell of a lot of swing on the radius like this. That's your swing. It's basically straight with this timber here. So I will never have a problem on, if you look on the inside as well, if you look like that, you see it just nudges it. So the width never, the swing never really goes wider than this piece here. And the inside one will now be there. So nowhere will you be closer than this here, and that's 6 centimeters. All right. Now the other thing that Ron was worried about was the swing on the Garrett. Now, it's actually not the worst swing that I've seen in my life, because the design of the thing, these oaks were thinking, These oaks were thinking. If you look at where the pivot is, the pivot's here. The pivot's right there. Okay? So the only piece that swings out is that bit there. So you have very, very little swing. Let me see if I can see that side. That is your swing on a 3.8 meter radius. That's your swing. That's maximum. So I reckon that is about, what? I don't think it's a centimeter even. All right, so yeah. I don't think you have to worry about that. The diesels are actually worse, because you got the pivot over here and your overhang right up to here. So this whole thing swings. So on a diesel, it actually goes slightly over the side there. All right. And this being a 34, this has got a huge rear overhang. All right, so keep that in mind. So I think 180 for Cape Gauge 1, it's not a rule, there's no rules here, but that is comfortable. It looks prototypically right, and you won't have any issues with clearance. So that's just for, check how nice that Transkaroo looks, That is just for interest sake. Now, the other thing, talking about the Transkaroos, remember I said the other day about 4 kgs? No, I actually weighed one. They're 6.8 kgs each. Now, I've got 12 of them and a car wagon, which is 13 in total. So I'm trembling in anticipation to see if that Garrett will pick up 13 wagons, and obviously it's tender, water tender. A single diesel can't do it. We've tested and tried, and it didn't happen. All right, so jobs, what's up for the next week? After I've dropped this, you see this, the side here needs to be done. But after I've dropped the whole metal framework here down to 750, I can actually put that board that's over there back where it's supposed to be. And then I can put the brand ring up and do these two. And at the back there, I snooked myself a bit, because I did not cut them into that pole there. I will have to see, I'm going to do the brand ring there. Probably angle irons or whatever. Otherwise I just weld the piece over at the top there. And because you see, that's the problem. There's a gap there now, because it actually must screws onto this. So I'll have to make a plan with the brand ring here. It's going to be a bit of a mission. We'll see how that turns out. So dudes, that's basically it. This was the last weld here when it all came together. Man, yeah, historical and hysterical at some point. So there we have it. Now the only thing that remains is getting the boards down, fixing them down. Little problems like this, where you have that, I will fix with a angle line at the bottom. I'll get them all level and straight. Some of them are lying on the others, on angle line underneath, but there's always a gap here. So I don't want to go for that biscuit or whatever the hell they call it, joiners. I'll just put angle line in, so it's nice and sturdy. And then get all that leveled out, like here, these are tied down, so these are fine. A guy was here in the week and he said to me, yeah, with the track, the tables are going a bit like this. That's prototypically okay. I actually like when the trains move a bit. And you can see the suspensions go. Over here, isn't that lovely? The first point's really nice. As soon as I've got this whole intersection going here, because there's going to be, original plan was for the outside one to, these two to be both main lines, but I've changed that. The outside one's the main line, the inner side is a branch line. So all the shunting and stuff's going to happen out of that inside line, and we can cross over like there. It'll have one on the other side, and whatever runs on the inside, the parkings will be 4 lines. So there will be 6 lines in total here, and the same that side. So we'll have 4 points there. Well, here will actually be 5, because we'll have 4 points here, and then the branch line, which will run this side on this table. Lekker julle. So I'm hell of excited. Tomorrow I'm gonna go get some hooks, so I've got some formal wire, so I can put a buzz bar up, and we can start the wiring so that we can wire all those points, so I can get the wires onto them, the clips, each track with its own feeder wire. Rather be safe than sorry. So dudes, what do you think? I think we are almost there. And I decided I'm going to paint the house wall white, because everything is going to be white in any case, so it will just blend in, and yeah, it will look like a clinic inside here. It'll be nice and cool. You know, gaps like that at the top there, all that needs to be filled up, you know, so that I have, like I did there, so that it's nice and flush. And I'm not too worried about the paint here, because we're going to do the backdrops over it. But in my mind, I tell you guys, I've got so many ideas, and it changes every damn day now that I see the thing. You know, it's so much different to what you have in a track plan. Everything just changes. It's just, yeah. Man, I stand here and I smoke cigarette after cigarette thinking, oh, maybe I should put the crusher there, and then that side I'll put the sawmill. The whole steel mill thing changed because I actually measured it out. I drew up the first building, and I haven't got the height. Those things are just way too big. They will press against the roof. It will look awkward. I can scale it down, but to 1 in 30 or 1 in 32, but I don't like doing that. So I'm going to do it typically South African. I'm also contemplating getting myself a turntable built. I'm busy speaking to a couple of guys, and we put a turntable over there with a couple of sheds, more or less modeled on Waterval onder. You know, they must have a turntable there with those funny sheds with a roof that goes wider to the back. I can build that easily. Yeah, so guys, a little sawmill there. Keep it more South African, and you know, do smaller. I tend to still wonder, my mind is still at HO. That was what I used to model. My mind's still there, so it is for me difficult to grasp the scale of these things. They're massive, you know. That height there, you can basically build bugger all. You know, a steel factory over there, I can build smaller factories and stuff there, and make like a little industrial scene. Yes, that's what I'm going to do. But the whole steel mill thing, I will make a plan somewhere to have nice lattice work, you know, build a couple of things that looks pretty. I said to a guy this morning, I said to him, you know what, problem with the scale is, I can't climb onto the internet, ask my dealer in Germany, listen, get me 13 Faller kits so I can build them quickly and put them down. Everything is custom built. So you got to be careful what you dip your toe into. If you make it too difficult, man, you know, I haven't got, how much time have I got left? So it'll take you a month to build one building. You know, it's going to be years. Other problem is trees. The side, obviously, where I want to put the sawmill, either there or on the other side, there's going to be a lot of trees. And you know, I look at Rod Heading's layout. I mean, the amount of trees he's put in there, you know, behind his plantation. It will take me a year to build all those trees. That's the other thing. You can't buy trees for this scout. You gotta make them. And I've looked at the tutorials, you know, you gotta spend easily 10 hours on a tree. It is just, you know, some of that stuff really makes me depressed, but we'll do it, we'll get to it. Little bit, it's like, how do you eat the elephant? Piece by piece, bit by bit, we'll do it. Guys, I'm gonna go, it's late. And then, oh yeah, the other thing is our load shedding is so bad at the moment. Some days I've got 4 hours to work in. They are bloody well killing me. And anyway, so that's that. All right, dudes, we speak later. Goed julle, tot ziens.